Hello, Kaan. How are you?
Cool. Trying to be good. How about you?
What's happening? Thanks. What's going on? Tell me. Why are you trying to be good?
Yeah, things are a little bit complicated in Turkey, as always.
Yeah, it's always interesting in Turkey, like the rest of the Middle East. There's always action.
Yes, that's why. Actually, it's like a health crisis ongoing, combined with an economical crisis, and all as in Middle East, every country, there is always a political crisis. So now we are dealing with three crises at the same time. It's even too much for us.
All together.
Yeah.
And for someone like you who's been through so many crises before.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, it's even too much for us.
How many have you been through so far? Like you've told me before, and different times. I think there was like the protests.
Like there was like Gezi protests in 2013. It was like the Arab Spring in Turkey, and we have a coup attempt like 3 years ago, and continuous economical crisis. So things are very sloppy in Turkey.
With the lira as well, been devaluating. Not as much as Lebanon. Lebanon, we're in a deep dive. We're beating you at how quickly our lira. We're like Venezuela now in Lebanon. How do you deal with that though? With your business, like I mean, a lot of your costs, I think, are Turkey in Turkey as well, but still that must affect massively, your expectations versus, what you end up dealing with.
Yeah, of course, because we have like investors, and investors are expecting returns in US dollars, not in Turkish lira. So like we are like continuously increasing our revenues, but in terms of US dollars, it never changed. So that's a little bit complicated. Like we are growing, but in terms of US dollars, it's like reflected very poorly. So like our investors are not happy, like all investors in Turkey are not happy about the Turkish companies who only make revenue in Turkish liras, which is the case in Onedio because we are a local media company and all our revenues are in Turkish liras. We are experiencing growth. We are like growing like at least 25% on an annual basis. But if you take in US dollars into consideration, like you only grow 5% or 6%. So that's
and you're a huge media company. You're like 30 million people, right? On your like website alone, and then the rest of the assets that you have.
Yeah. Actually, during the pandemics, it's also increased. For the last 3 months, we have been hitting 40 million monthly unique visitors in Turkey.
Yes, that's every Turkish young Turkish person, basically.
Yeah, we can say so. Like the total internet audience is around 55 million in Turkey. So we acquire 40 million each month. So we are happy in terms of our reach, our traffics. But of course, it doesn't reflect directly to our revenues because of the economical crisis and the pandemics.
Are you like a famous man in Turkey now, or like do people stop you on the street?
Personally, I'm not famous. I'm a little bit under the radar. But when I'm saying I'm the founder of Onedio, everyone, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity.
Yeah, have you met someone who doesn't know Onedio in Turkey?
Maybe people over 60.
Wow, yeah, maybe in somewhere like Turkey and running a big media business, you need to be under the radar. Have you ever gotten like phone calls to like remove something or?
Actually, we know the red lines of the government because we are operating in Turkey and we are officially a Turkish company. So we have to comply with the rules and regulations of our government. So we create content accordingly with those stuff in mind. But of course, there are we are not getting unofficial calls under the blanket, but we got official orders from the courts to remove certain content. So we have to remove those content. We have to comply with the regulations. For example, Twitter, Facebook, or these kind of global corporations, they don't need to comply. So there's a huge social media regulation now is on the way in Turkey, forcing these global social media companies to open a branch in Turkey and respond in less than 24 hours to these content removal applications. So things will change in Turkey.
I heard about that, but would they do that, the big global companies, or they would just not come if they want to ban it in Turkey, then go ahead? Do they? Because I don't think they'd remove any content.
Yeah, up to date, they only remove content for official terrorist organizations such as ISIS, or content promoting pedophilia or racism, those kind of stuff. But they don't remove content for internal oppositions. But now, of course, our government wants to control each and every content on social media. I don't know whether they will comply with these new rules, because the punishment is huge. It includes throttling the web traffic, or banning Turkish companies to give advertisement to those social media platforms. I believe they will find a common ground, but I'm not sure about Twitter, for example. Twitter is a little bit
sensitive. Yeah.
So we'll see. They have time till the end of years. We'll see.
Yeah, it's tricky running a media business. It's a big responsibility, talking to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, you're trying to build a business as well. So tell me about you're also a co-founder of another startup as well, VCount, right?
Yeah. Actually, it is my first startup. I have graduated from Middle East Technical University in 2005. Actually, I'm an electronics engineer. I had nothing to do with media business prior to Onedio. We launched VCount in 2006. It's a machine vision company. We produce devices to count people in retail stores or shopping malls or in buses, churches, everywhere. So Onedio was just like a hobby project for me. And it just started after Arab Spring, to be honest, because during Arab Spring, we have seen that independent media startups is a must for our region. And all the media industry was dominated by traditional media players, just like every Middle East country. In Turkey, it was the situation. So I started Onedio at 2000. Actually, I registered Onedio in 2010, while I was still the CEO of VCount, and it started as a hobby project. And then it got attention. We received investments from a local VC and also from European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, and we have spinned out Onedio, and I became the CEO of Onedio with my electronics engineering background. But people are telling me that a profile like yours is able to do this kind of revolution in Turkish media industry, because all the media guys, all media corporations in Turkey, their main job is also not media, energy companies, construction companies, and they're also building media companies. They don't have ambitions on innovations on media. Their whole ambition is having a good channel with the government to finance their other businesses. So we are technology-focused, technology-minded, a couple of guys, started a media business and launched this media business on a product-wise point of view, not traditional media-wise, but we tried to design the best possible product for young people in Turkey, and it had a success. So I have switched from electronics engineering to a media guy.
And how did you go from 0 to 40 million now? Like, how can you attract such a growth? I mean, it's massive growth. You almost capture like half the population.
Yeah. Actually, I would say 2013 was a milestone in Onedio's growth. In 2013, there was Gezi protests in Turkey, like the Arab Spring one. So everyone was on the streets protesting the government, especially young people. Millennials were all over the street, but traditional media was not covering it. For example, there was huge protests on the streets, and like media channels was broadcasting a documentary about penguins or other stuff like that. So that was the exact same situation that we see in Belarus at the moment. So Onedio as a platform was enabling like people post content to the website. So Onedio was the first place that from the protests because no mainstream media was broadcasting it. So people were uploading their photos, their videos. We were curating them. We were, of course, fact-checking them and turning those images and videos into news stories. And it was like huge hit. Onedio was a huge hit at the moment. Everyone was following the protests, what was happening on the streets on Onedio. And we were not like the voice of opposition. We were just publishing what's going on the streets. So we were like also including the views, the images of pro-government, for example, people on our articles. Okay, like people are doing this, opposition is posting this kind of stuff, but in the meantime, in the same time, this pro-government people or supporters of government are like putting this kind of images, or they are opposing because of this. So we give the people the platform that they can share their views and leave the rest to the readers to decide what is going on, which party is right. It is so it was a huge success in our history. And after that, we have received investment because our traffic was around like 50,000 sessions a day, and during Gezi protest, it was like 1.5 million sessions a day.
Wow. So you grew massively during that time. And that was all like mostly organic growth, just by allowing people to go in. And what were they publishing? Was it videos, like allowing them to write articles, or just big pictures?
Yeah, we were like allowing them post videos and pictures with short, like tweets with short texts. But we were collecting them, fact-checking them, because like you will never know where the image comes from. It may be coming from a protest in Iraq. So you have to fact-check every image and video and make it a story by our own editors. And we were using like user-generated images and videos coming from our followers and turning them into news stories, news videos, and publish them. So it was all curated and fact-checked and ready to consume for our users.
So that took you from being
that took us from 50,000 readers per day to 1 million readers per day. And then we received investment from a local VC firm. Then we used that investment to push aggressively on social media. So it was around like 2013, and this influencer business was not hot at the moment. But there were lots of Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers. So we paid them to promote Onedio content. Okay, you are posting content about, for example, football, or you are posting content about beauty. So we have a very good article on beauty, or we have a very good article on sports. Why don't you publish it and share it with your users, and we will pay you for each traffic you are going to send us. So we called it a super sharer network. Those super sharers were actually influencers with lots of followers, and they were posting Onedio content. Instead of like posting CNN content, they were posting Onedio content. So all over the internet was Onedio content, people posting content. We get complaints about wherever I look, I see Onedio content. It's enough. People were complaining about this, but it was a very quick and huge bump in our traffic.
How did you monitor all of this and like do all the communication with all these people that are sharing the articles, and then you have to pay them? And how do you charge for the view? Like, what did you build a system for it? Or
we built a panel for it, and it was
like a dashboard.
It was a dashboard. It was invitation only. So even if you have like 10,000 followers or 50,000 followers, you cannot log in. You have to be invited, and you have to be like qualified in terms of your followers and the quality of content you share. So we have acquired like 300 or 400 super sharers. There was a coordinator in our team whose only job is like coordinating with those super sharers. And when they log into their dashboard, they see the contents to be shared that they can share according to their audience. So they pick the content, they share it with the UTMs or every tracking code that we generated for them. So we were able to track how many people is coming from their post share, and we paid like $4, $5 for each 1,000 visitors. So they were continuously sharing the content, and it was all organic content, not any branded content or not like interruptive content that makes the readers unhappy. It was very good quality content. So they were very willing to share it because it's really hard for them to find the good quality content in Turkey, because quality content, digital quality content was still very hard to find in Turkish written articles. So it was a win for them. They find the stuff to share. It was a win for their followers.
They were sharing anyways. Yeah, they were sharing anyways.
So we have grown a lot with those super sharers.
How much? Like from 1.5 million to what?
Currently we are receiving 3.4 million sessions a day. We are not now using them because, as you know, there were lots of algorithm changes, especially in Facebook. So during the golden era of Facebook for publishers, we have used them a lot. But after the Facebook algorithms changed, we stopped this process.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it golden era. I mean, we also took, had our experience with digital media. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about the Facebook era. It felt like it was a golden era, but when you look back at it, from a global sense for publishers, it was a golden era for Facebook. I don't know how much it was for publishers.
Actually, it was good. Acquiring traffic was cheap. Virality of the posts were booming, and with the monetization options that Facebook gave us, we made good money. During that time, we have opened our Russian operation, our English operation, because it was very easy to grow those international media operations. All you need to do is promoting a quality content and build a page on Facebook and keep posting quality content, and you get the traffic. Yeah. But then Facebook did not like it. Facebook wanted Facebook to be connection about people, not lots of viral stories full of filling people's newsfeed. So they shifted their strategy just like they did for the gaming companies. So we have to revise, as we discussed several times before, we had to revise all our strategy, traffic distribution strategy.
Yeah. But I don't know, I feel that the content, the whole virality of it's made publishers and people addicted to just creating what could be viral content by clickbait articles and so on. And versus, when you're writing for quality content for your reader, not to get you like number of clicks, but get you loyal readers. I feel there's a big difference, and that created a lot of like issues in the media industry as a whole and because journalists started to get paid also based on how many clicks they get on their article, which wasn't the case before. So then you have journalists who would just pick up any story that would get them more clicks because that's how they were getting paid, even from the big global media players.
Yeah, definitely.
But do you see yourself at some point adding a paywall? What do you think about paywalls and the media space?
Yeah, paywall is a cultural thing, I think. And I think it's very hard to receive in Turkey, making people pay for the content that they consume. It's really hard in Turkey because we just started to pay for the content with Netflix for the last 1.5 years, maybe. Before that, all the illegal movie and series websites, pirating, it was huge. It's still huge in Turkey because those are not regulated, still not regulated. So I believe in Turkey we are still very far away from paywalls in terms of written articles. It's still very hard. So we are looking for alternative methods to generate revenue, like every other media outlets in the world, because advertisement alone, it's not enough, it's not scalable, and there are huge competitors such as Facebook and Google who gets nearly 90% of the growth, annual growth. For example, digital media consumption and digital media advertising increases maybe 50%, or digital ad revenues increase 50% on an annual basis, but those 90% of that 50% goes to Facebook and Google. So all media companies are fighting
the 10%,
for 10% increase in the media ecosystem. So it forces us to find new ways about revenue generation.
Like what, other than advertising? What other revenue streams?
Yeah, we have shifted this strategy in the beginning of 2019, and we have benchmarked actually TikTok maker ByteDance, because as you know, ByteDance was a content curator in China with more than 150 million monthly unique visitors when they launched TikTok in China. So what they did was acquiring users with quality content, good content, and promoting new products to them. So TikTok has emerged, and we are following the same strategy now. Since we are touching 5 million different people each and every day, we should produce a new product, a new app, and make Onedio's power and reach to people download that new app, where we can monetize from consumers directly, not from brands, not from advertisements, but from those 5 million daily people we should have monetized. So we have launched, we have spinned off a gaming company. So we have launched a trivia game last year, where people were paying to acquire jokers or in-app purchases. And 3 million people have downloaded it, and it was the Google app of the year at Google Play Store, and it's generated nearly 30% of our all annual media revenue alone. So now we are pushing this strategy, and we have increased our product team, technical team, and now we are going to launch 3 new products within this year, where we can monetize directly from consumers, not from brands. And we will, of course, try to make those applications global so that we can scale our revenue and businesses. So that's our strategy. So with the help of media, reach as many of people as you can reach and make them download your consumer products that you can monetize.
So is that other not content what you're monetizing, right? So on the game,
on the game, we are like, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and as you know, there are jokers in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So if you want to use a joker in order to proceed in the game, you have to pay for acquiring a joker. So we were directly getting revenue from the user, not the brand. For example, there was a similar show which is called HQ Trivia, which was very popular in the United States.
Yeah. Are they still around? They're doing well now?
No, actually, their founder has died, and after that,
what happened with him? He just died?
Drug overdose, I guess. He was the co-founder of Vine, which was acquired by Twitter. And,
oh my God!
Yeah, he co-founded HT Trivia, and he died from the drug overdose. And after that, it was like slide down. So, but they were monetizing again with brand partnership. For example, like Walmart was promoting a show, and it was like giving away $10,000. So they were making money from again brands. But we didn't choose that because we were already monetizing from brands, and we wanted people to make in-app purchases just like a traditional media company, so that we could diversify our revenue stream. And it went good. At the end of this month, we are opening it to United States, United Kingdom, and Latin America in 2 languages, Spanish and English. So we are very excited about it. It will be a case study for us, like pivoting a product in Turkey by using Onedio's community, spend no money on marketing, because like in this kind of consumer products, like most of the budget goes to marketing. Yeah. So our marketing costs are zero. We are leveraging Onedio's audience,
user base,
user base, and we can pivot the product to make it global.
Someone is asking, Samir is asked from the audience, have you tried using Snapchat for monetization? I think they have like their shows and
sadly, Snapchat is like nearly non-existent in Turkey. No one uses Snapchat, so we don't use Snapchat as a publishing platform. When the Snapchat first emerged, we have opened a Snapchat account. We were attracting users. We have received like nearly 100,000 followers on Snapchat. But then Instagram has introduced stories, and literally everyone has gone from Snapchat to Instagram. And at those days, Snapchat was not offering any monetization to publishers.
Mm-hmm.
As Samer said, like in Middle East, Snapchat is still very popular in some
in
of
Saudi,
countries.
it's big,
In Turkey, no one is now posting Snapchat. Like I used to follow like 300 people on Snapchat, and now when I log into Snapchat, I see zero stories, literally zero stories. So everyone has moved to Instagram stories.
And is TikTok big in Turkey now? Are you using TikTok for that?
Yeah, TikTok is huge in Turkey. It's growing very fast, and we have opened a TikTok channel as well. It's growing slowly, but it's solid. We have a couple of videos who have reached millions of views. We are following very closely the TikTok's expansion in Turkey.
What are the other apps that you're working on launching? You said you're looking at launching other apps.
In Turkey, now we have introduced a beta version of a user-generated content platform, which is a mixture of Reddit and Instagram stories. So it's a user-generated social media platform around topics. So, for example, there's a Champions League match, so you can post comments about that Champions League match under a certain like Reddit style topic, and you can also post videos about that topic. So all our like we have more than 70 editors in Turkey, and like creating a content business relying only on editorial force is not very scalable. So we have to put a user-generated content version of Onedio. So it's called Dio, our user-generated content platform. It's in beta mode, but it's growing very fast. And we are going into classified business, classified ads. So it's a very common thing to do for a media business, to launch a classified business. And it will be live in December, but it will be mobile only and video only, just like Alibaba's Taobao in China.
Yeah.
So like video commerce is getting a huge interaction in Asia. It's not existent in our country yet.
That's a separate app or on Onedio?
No, it's a separate app.
Have you considered doing what like the China way of which for some reason seems to only work in China, but you know, like how they have like one app and then you do everything on the app, like, you know, Alibaba did or
super apps.
Yeah, super. You do payments, you do. Kareem is trying to do that now here in the region as well. You know, becoming like they launched their super apps. But have you thought of, because you have a huge audience, so you're probably one of the few that can actually pull it off and enable people to do payments, to do, you know, many different things on the app beyond entertainment, which is mostly what you're in right now.
So we have talked about making these super apps, but first we decided let's try on different apps, but develop those apps as if we can merge them in the future. So we are preparing ourselves to make a super app. But
to merge them. What would that super app do? Would it do like payments and other things as well within Turkey and chatting and?
Yeah, first we are going to focus on our own business, which is like content, of course, like combining Onedio and Dio, like combining content consumption and also user-generated content in one app is the first step. Then add classified into it, then maybe like payment solutions, chats in the future. Now we have like three things ongoing, like editorial content, user-generated content, and classified business.
Have you tested with dating before?
Actually, we have thought about getting into dating business because there are tests in Onedio, like Onedio tests. It's like BuzzFeed quizzes, and we have 15 million unique users for our test section. So we have thought about like combining this test solving with a dating mechanism.
Like an icebreaker to dating.
Yeah.
You start. You do.
Our test results are very similar. So let's date. Yeah, that was the idea. But like everything one by one, because like we have limited capacity on product development as well. So if you want to do everything at once, one of them will.
Your quizzes is like really interesting because I think you told me once you had some like millions or even hundreds of millions or billions even of like answers and data that you can collect, and then you were using that for the brand to access, like to have them access unique data and targeting.
Yeah, like nearly 5 billion questions are answered each year on Onedio tests. So it's a huge amount.
5 billion questions?
Yeah, 5 billion questions answered on Onedio every year. So like we got lots of data, but first party data from those tests, because people are answering those tests because they're curious about what will be the results for their personality. So they give the right answers. So for example, I can make a test about hairstyle. So which hairstyle reflects your character? And I can ask questions about their hair type. For example, is your hair curly or is your hair straight? So I can store the data of all audience who answers that their hair is curly, and I can share this data, for example, with a hair straightener shampoo. Okay, these guys are like these women have curly hair, and it's first-party data. You can't find this data anywhere. You can't find this data on Google. You can't find this data on Facebook because it's mostly demographic and interest-based targeting. But now I can ask people whether their hair is curly, what kind of music do they like, or where do they want to go to the holiday, to a resort or a small boutique hotel or a camping holiday. So I can ask these kind of questions to the people, and I can target them accordingly with my advertisers.
Have you built?
Of course, all is done is in certain GDPR requirements for like personal data stuff, but we are all compliant.
Have you built an ad serving platform that can serve it programmatically from even smaller maybe businesses? I was chatting with Anagami founder, which is like the Spotify of the Middle East earlier, and they're building their own ad serving platform to enable small businesses, not just the big brands, to actually be able to go in and with a small budget run a campaign on, like, let's say, for example, Onedio.
Yeah, we have tried that, but our main monetization is coming from branded content, not display advertisement. And we have let people to produce their own branded content. But we have concluded that they cannot produce their own content because it needs certain editorial skills to make the content interesting and readable. If you leave it to user itself to promote its own content, for example, they have opened a restaurant and they basically can't write about their own restaurant. It's very like full of grammatic errors, like you cannot make people read.
You need editors, and writers,
So like we had editors to review them, but it was like impossible to deal with. So now we are like only accepting like certain ticket sizes to Onedio. So if you want to give advertisement, this is the minimum ticket size, and we will make it available to, for example, 50,000 readers, and we give it as a commitment.
Yeah, that's interesting. And have you tried other things within media? Like, I know you were producing a lot of video content at some point. Have you like spoken to Netflix to maybe produce like a Turkish series or a show on Netflix or other platforms? Or I'm not going to ask TV, but mainly the streaming platform.
Actually, we have a huge YouTube channel which has 3.5 million subscribers in Turkey. It's one of the largest corporate YouTube channels, like other than YouTubers. It's one of the largest corporate channels in Turkey. And we had produced lots of videos. We are still producing. But in the beginning of this year, we have cut down our video operations by half because scaling video business is really
cost a lot of money. Yeah,
and it costs a lot of money. You have to invest a lot into production. And as I said, I'm not a media guy, and I'm not definitely a producer. So it was not a scalable business. So we decided to cut half the video operation. So it was like 30 people. Now it's only 15 people. We are still producing videos, but mostly not very high quality, Netflix quality videos, like YouTuber quality videos to gather our audience. And to be honest, I don't see producing shows for Netflix like companies as a very reliable revenue source for our operations for a media company like ours. So we have to I feel like we have to investigate revenue channels that is much more scalable.
Have you looked into producing podcasts? I'm not sure. Are podcasts big in Turkey?
It's growing, but not very popular. But again, like in this kind of stuff, like if you don't sell your video to Netflix, the only way to monetize it is again with ads. At podcast, the only way to monetize it is with ads, sponsored the podcast. We are already have very good deals and very large inventory for those brands that depend on us. So, for example, if I get sponsorship for a podcast, for example, from Unilever, it will like cannibalize my own revenue stream. So they will cut from the budget that they gave me for content, and they will like shift it to podcast. So it will not increase my revenue. So the main focus of us is like generating new revenue streams that will not cannibalize our own revenue stream.
What about online events? Have you thought about that? Maybe it's also a form.
After the pandemic, it looks much easier and much profitable, because like offline events are now impossible to carry on. So yes, we are thinking about online events as well. But as I said, like you cannot focus everything at the same time. We are now fully focused on consumer products that we can generate revenue from consumers. So I'm, for example, for 2020, I'm willing to produce, launch 6 or 7 new consumer products and hope for one will be a hit. Maybe I will kill 6 of them, but if one of them is going to be a hit, it will be enough.
Yeah,
so we will experiment a lot.
It is experiments with consumer products. You never know. It's very difficult to predict people's behavior. So you kind of have to bet on people's behavior and then put something out and try to get it to a certain scale and then see, how people react to it and how it adopts. You can never know. That's why starting a B2C business is much like a startup. It's much riskier than starting a B2B startup. So,
but in our case, since we have like the audience and we have all the connections with those influencers and platforms, that's how we made 3 million people download our gaming app. Like we didn't spend any money, but
so it doesn't cost you.
Yeah, we know how to make marketing for our customers. We are already making like YouTube shows for our app customers, or we were already making creative content applications on Onedio for our app customers. So why are not we doing for our own apps that we own? So that makes a lot of sense, so that we can give advertisement to those podcasts instead of like making your podcast and try to grab like brands' money. Like build your own product. You already know everyone in the industry, and like make them promote your product.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to try to, like what you're saying is potentially, testing with different consumer apps and hoping one of them will end up being the next TikTok, or so, because you have a huge audience to test with in one way or the other. And usually especially social networks and such platforms, behavior is generally similar globally across cultures. So if you figure out a new way to do things, like TikTok started in China, it didn't start in the US. Look at how big it is now in the US.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like for example, when we launched our gaming app, like the Trivia Show app, we have connected lots of influencers that we were already working at our YouTube channel, or we were already working with brands. So they got millions of followers. So we tell them that, look, this is our own app, so you have to promote it. And then we will promote you as Onedio. So it's like a barter. You promote our app, I will promote you. So they never say no to this kind of stuff, because they always need attention. They want to be trending topic on Twitter. So I have the force to make them trending topic on Twitter. So now I'm using my media force to like promote my stuff to influencers or other media outlets to promote my, I'll send you traffic. I'll make you, I'll send you traffic and you'll send traffic to my app. So that was like a common barter application. So I imagine a future that I am never making advertisement money from other people's products, but I'm using all my ad inventory for all of my products, and I have
your own products. Yeah. Have you tried to expand into other markets on the media?
Yeah. In the beginning of 2016, we have launched our Russian version. Which was Onedio.ru. But it was crazy. Like, we have built it from scratch. Most of the time, international media operations, as you very well know, is made by joint ventures or syndication agreements. For example, there is CNN Turk in Turkey, which is a partnership between CNN and a Turkish partner. There is Fox in Turkey, which is the partnership with Fox and again traditional partnerships. For example, BuzzFeed is launching its global operations. For example, they have launched in Japan in partnership with Yahoo. Vice Media is launching its international operations with local media partners. So globalization in media, expanding new markets in media is
like a franchise.
Yeah, like a franchise or partnerships. But we were crazy enough to launch on our own in Russia. Again, it's a very difficult country, just like Turkey. So our investors was like, "Are you crazy?"
Like difficult countries.
Yeah, our investors was like, "Are you crazy? Now you have Erdogan in Turkey, now Putin in Russia."
You want to get yourself into jail.
Yeah. But Russia was a wise choice for us because there are lots of Russian people living in Turkey, So it was really easy for us to hire native Russian editors in our Istanbul office. So we hired several editors, Russian native editors in Istanbul, mostly women married to Turkish guys, but they don't have any job, but they are very well educated. But because of the work conditions or the economics in Turkey, they were having trouble to find jobs. So we had a very good freelancer and editorial team in Istanbul office. And of course, Russian is a 300 million people in the region speaking Russian. It's a huge audience. And the competition was not very harsh. So we chose Russia to launch first. And it grew up to a point. We had 15 million monthly unique visitors. And after that, Russia has also changed its regulations for media companies. We were publishing serious news stories as well in Russia. So in order to post serious news stories, you have to open, you have to move all your database to Russia. And Yandex was very, most of our traffic was coming from Yandex.
Yandex is the Google of Russia.
Yeah, Russia.
Company, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of our traffic was coming from Yandex. So Yandex has changed some strategies for foreign publishers. So we had trouble, and now it's in hibernate mode. We have only 3 or 4 editors. It's still making money from programmatic ads, but we need to invest, open an office in Russia, comply with all regulations, etc., etc. So it's in hibernate mode now. Only publishing fun content, tests, and quizzes.
These regulations are tough. I mean, tough to deal with. They can change your entire plans on what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, media is tough. So now our main focus is in Turkey. We want to become the largest media company in Turkey in 5 years, because in 5 years, everywhere else in the world, largest media company in Turkey will be digital. That's obvious because media is shifting to digital. And in terms of competition, we don't receive a lot of competition from our media competitors in Turkey in terms of product, audience building, innovation, because they don't care about those.
They're too old.
Yeah, too old, and their main concept is promoting government. So All they
Yeah.
do, and still television is very strong in Turkey. So within 5 years, television will lose its strength. Digital will prevail a lot. So we are like waiting for that time to come. But we are very strong. Like people are like tweeting like we are the next generation of our fathers who have like first thing in the morning have their newspapers in their hands. Now the next generation we are going into Onedio
Onedio.
first thing in the morning. So
Do you get a lot of direct traffic? People typing onedio.com?
yeah, of course, a lot. So most of our traffic was coming from social, like mostly Facebook, as you very well know. But after a Facebook algorithm changed, like we used to receive like 2 million, 3 million sessions a day from Facebook. Now it has dropped to 200,000, like it has dropped 90%. So we had a very good strategy while converting that Facebook audience to our direct users. So we have updated our mobile app, promoted it a lot, and we have invested in search engine optimization. Now we have recovered our traffic. Again, like we are receiving nearly 3 to 4 million sessions alone from our own app and direct traffic.
That's huge. Yeah, I mean, not being dependent on a social platform is very difficult, I must say.
Yeah.
But once you achieve that, I think you know that you have like quite a loyal audience.
Yeah.
I could. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
lots of media companies that launched during Facebook time has gone bankrupt or like sold for like a fraction of their like Series A valuations. Like Mic.com, Mashable.com, you know very well.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, we at Step tried to build, different media. And we succeeded at building an audience. We built Step Feed, another website called Yalla Feed and platform. And we built also a lot of audience in addition to the events that we do. But, with the Arab world, it's like spread across multiple countries, multiple dialects, multiple, interests in different things, even if you have like the same common language of Arabic, but actually Arabic, like the formal Arabic, no one speaks it.
Yeah.
No one speaks that at all. Like maybe only on news, like on TV, on news, that's it. Everyone else speaks their own language. So that makes it very difficult from a media point of view, and plus everything else you're talking about. So definitely, it's very tough to build a media business, but I think you've done an amazing job at it. So we as SEP went back to focus on. We sold one of our websites, and we went back to focus on events, and now we're like quite excited with the online event space. It is media after all as well. You're creating content. Like these 3 days, we have 3 days of content for people to come in and not have to travel or anywhere. You can enjoy the content from anywhere. Plus the networking, because networking is a big part of events as well.
Yeah. You did a great job this year, as always. It's very fluid. It's very full. Congratulations for this first Step Anywhere conference.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I could go on for hours. Unfortunately, we run out of time. Thanks so much for being on Maté Conversations.
Thank you for inviting.
It was a great chat. Yeah. Take care.
Okay, Ray. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you like this podcast and want to listen to more episodes, subscribe to the Maté Conversations podcast on one of your favorite podcast channels.